Well, tomorrow the Winston Cup Stars will be down at Talladega, Alabama. That race can be seen on ESPN Live. We've got live Busch Grand National coverage. It has been wild here at South Boston as the field is back under green again. And Steve Grissom once again works on race leader Jeff Burton, trying to get at least one of his laps back. He spent a number of minutes on pit road, but it's amazing that he is able to stay so close to contention, even though his lap's down. He's, as you said, Glenn, been one of the strongest cars out there all day.
Well, Grissom gets my vote as the hardest working guy out here today. He is really working hard to stay off of the car that he's trying to pass. He's not, he can muscle his way in there. Watch him right now. If he's going to touch him, he backs off. He did right there. He could have gone on muscling a little bit, bumped him, and driven on by, but he doesn't choose to race that way. We said earlier he's one of the cleanest driving guys out there. He might have to use a little muscle here in a minute to get on by Jeff Burton to get that lap back.
If there is a favorite in this race from a fan standpoint here, it would have to be Jeff Burton, who cut his teeth in this series right here at South Boston.
Jeff Burton ran his very first race right here in 1985, a street stock race. Guess what? He won it. Came back the next year running late model stock machines, the regular Saturday night show for NASCAR racing, won a number of races, and he very nearly won a championship here in 1988, I believe, when he broke his back in a wreck in a nearby track in Orange County Speedway, and that cost him the championship. So Jeff Burton is the hometown favorite. He wins this race. They'll burn the grandstands.
And we have reached a milestone of this event. We have just completed 200 laps as up in turn number 4, Jack Ingram has broken loose and has triggered another caution, number 16, the Iron Man.
Gary Neese also stopped against the concrete retaining wall in turn number 4, so we're under caution yet again in the Carquest Auto Parts Stores 300. We'll be back with more from South Boston, Virginia.
We've got 95 laps remaining in the Carquest Auto Parts Stores 300. Gary Neese is getting the attention of the safety crews here at South Boston. This will be a lengthy caution period, so we'll take another break, and we'll be back with more action here as we have had 16 yellows to date. The Busch Grand National record is 18. The suspense is building on the yellows here at South Boston, Virginia. We'll be back with more in a moment. Well, understandably, NASCAR has had its hands full scoring this event with so many cars spinning, coming onto pit road, going back out. Here's the leaderboard unofficially as it's shown right at the moment. Just past the 2/3 mark, Jeff Burton, the local favorite, is the leader, with Ed Berrier having a great run. Chuck Bond, despite all his problems, is shown third. Bobby Dotter fourth, and Joe Nemechek, the second-year driver, fifth, as the safety crews attend to Gary Neese, who was involved in the latest caution number 16 up there in turn 3. Hit the wall about 40 feet where his car came to rest. Hit at a little bit of an odd angle. The driver now being attended to, and there's the mark on the wall.
Sometimes when you look at those marks, you can almost see the imprint of the race car, and you see where one of his tires made a big impact as he scrubbed that wall. It doesn't look bad, but we can't see the right side of the race car up against the concrete.
Well, Mark, what appears to have happened, he either had a tire go down, brake failure, or else the accelerator hung, because there were marks going up the racetrack leading right to that spot on the wall where Gary hit the wall. And he hit it at a flat angle, like Mark Allen said, and that's the worst kind of angle that a race driver can hit the wall at.
Well, we don't want to speculate on any extent of injuries, if any whatsoever, but you got to wonder here with the Winston 500 race, the second leg of the Winston Million tomorrow at Talladega, Alabama. You certainly don't want to see anything happen down there at the speeds they're running, 190+ miles per hour. That race can be seen live on ESPN, 2 o'clock Eastern starting time, hopefully weather permitting.
They're supposed to have some bad weather there in Talladega. Ernie Irvin and Harry Gant starting on the front row for that $788,000 event. We're still under yellow in the Carquest Auto Parts Stores 300. When we come back, hopefully the green flag as we continue here in South Boston, Virginia.
Hopefully the fans here at South Boston, Virginia didn't have any early dinner plans, because this race is clearly going to run beyond the anticipated time as we're 214 laps in. Jack Ingram, man who started 23rd and has one of the best all-time records at this racetrack. Take a look at that race car. Have you seen that in this series anytime recently? That is the Monte Carlo SS, that slope-back glass. He's running it because last week at Lanier Raceway, he was involved in an incident, banged up the car. He said he could have had it ready to race this weekend, but he said for some reason this car just runs real well on the short track. It's always been a short track car, and why bother fixing another car when I know this one's good?
Well, that car is an old friend. This track is an old friend. Jack Ingram has started 27 races here. His average finish is 6th. He finished 2nd here in 1989. And he's still looking for that first victory, though, since 1987. It's been quite a dry spell for the Iron Man, Jack Ingram.
Now, the Gary Nice machine has been removed from the Speedway, but what's keeping us from going back to green here for just a few moments is Nice was removed by ambulance from the Speedway, taken to an area hospital, and they're waiting for another ambulance up in turn 2 to cross over to the racetrack, so they have another safety vehicle inside should anything else precipitate. In fact, it's standard procedure, we might add, that any time a car impacts the wall and it is not able to continue, that the driver has to have a medical checkup, whether it be in the infield care center or outside the racetrack if necessary.
We should be ready to go back to green in just a moment. You see the ambulance crossing the track, moving to the infield area. Glenn, what about the drivers? They're moving now into nitty-gritty time. This is quite a break, quite a chance for them to gather their thoughts, catch their breath for the final run.
Well, it is, Mark, and you've also seen some of the guys continue to come in under the caution to make the last adjustments on their cars.
And that's Ward Burton watching the action. In fact, watching his brother, you've got to believe he's pulling for him now. He was an early crash victim in this event. His Food Country USA machine was pretty badly battered, and so now he's seeing if he can learn anything standing on top of a trailer as we got one lap to go back to green.
Ward Burton's had a pretty good season so far. He's had some pretty good runs in that Oldsmobile. We're getting set to go back to green flag racing. The field jamming up behind Jeff Burton, the leader. Then second spot unofficially will have the Ed Barrier machine. Third, Bobby Daughter. Fourth, Chuck Bound. And we believe riding right behind them should be maybe Jack Ingram on the rundown. It's a little bit confusing at this point in the racetrack as the lap cars and the lead lap cars get all mixed up together as we get set to go back to green.